Global Water Resources by Norton Liu, Matt Wu, Kevin Wu, Zachary Lim, and Sunny Hong. Water has many characteristics, such as its capacity to store heat, and it is a universal solvent. Water is capable of dissolving a variety of different substances, which is why it is a good solvent. And water is called a universal solvent because it dissolves more substances than any other liquid. Another characteristic is that it is permeable, so it allows sunlight to pass through and allow photosynthetic organisms to thrive underwater. Water can be found in three main stages: liquid, gas, or solid. With the increase in industries and business, water has been in high demand. Industries that produce metals, wood, paper, chemicals, gasolines, oil, and most other products all use water in some part of their production process. Industrial reliance on water makes it essential to preserve water in every aspect possible and make sure water pollution is kept at minimal levels. Overall, organisms only compete for about 1% of the total water on Earth. Groundwater is used for drinking water by more than 50% of the people in the United States, including almost everyone who lives in rural areas. The largest use for groundwater is to irrigate crops. Water in aquifers is brought to the surface naturally through a spring or can be discharged into lakes or streams. Groundwater can also be extracted through a well drilled into the aquifer. A well is a pipe in the ground that fills the groundwater. This water can be brought to the surface by a pump. In areas where material above the aquifer is permeable, pollutants can readily sink into the groundwater supplies. Groundwater is an important natural resource, but like many of our other resources, it's affected by the surrounding environment and human activities. Groundwater can be polluted by landfills, septic tanks, leaky underground gas tanks, and from overused fertilizers and pesticides. Groundwater can be depleted much faster than surface water because aquifers take very long time to refill. Groundwater is pumped from wells for drinking water, but it's also pumped for large-scale uses like agricultural irrigation. Another problem of extracting groundwater is that it causes land subsidence. This is when the ground sinks down to fill the space below. Land subsidence changes the elevation and slope of streams, canals, and drains. It is also what causes earth fissures in many parts of the world. A water well is an excavation or structure created in the ground by digging, driving, or drilling to access groundwater in the underground aquifers. This picture explains how an increase in groundwater extraction lowers the water table in an area. When the water table is lowered, it makes it harder for the water to be extracted, leading to more wells being drilled, which further lowers the water table, causing more natural disasters. Agriculture uses a lot of water resources. To promote water conservation, the price of water for agriculture can be raised to decrease the amount of water being used and extracted by farmers. Also, farmers can encourage the use of computer monitoring to increase water efficiency or use covered canals to reduce seepage. Another way to produce fresh water is by desalination. Desalination is the technology that allows the salt from the water to evaporate, causing the 3.5% salt to go to 0.05%. The only thing wrong with it is that it requires large amounts of energy and the price varies depending on the distance the water is being transported. The people in the United States only use about 10% of the water withdrawn, while the rest goes into production of other materials or agriculture. Water use is concentrated in urban areas, which may pose major threats to some areas that has been in a drought or have poor water efficiency practices. To ensure that water is being used efficiently, residents should water lawns before sunrise or in the evenings or practice xeriscaping. Xeriscaping reduces water use in the gardens by introducing drought-tolerant plants. Also, a lot of the water can be reused to water plants. Ta-da!